So everybody, Manchester United are set to build a new Old Trafford, but there's been some huge info on what's going to happen with the old Old Trafford. In this video, we'll be talking about what can happen with the new Old Trafford, thoughts on the new stadium, as well as some other Manchester United news. So let's get straight into it. So it's coming in from the Daily Sport or Mail Sport that Manchester United reportedly want to keep Old Trafford alongside building their new stadium. And that's the latest thing. Now, initial thoughts, I think we know Old Trafford's a historic stadium with a lot of history. It's a huge stadium for many fans. It's been there for over 100 years and it's a really important stadium. Manchester United have seen the players like Ronaldo, Beckham, Ryan Giggs, like all these famous players walk out, and it's something that Manchester United can't break down, and that's what they're not going to do. Now, Manchester United are proposing building a unique English football club, the Wembley of the North, next door to Old Trafford in the land that they have available, and keep the essence of the Old Trafford for prosperity. And what a fantastic stadium it was. Manchester United hope to keep Old Trafford despite the plans to build a new £2 billion Wembley of the North. They plan to keep the Munich Clock and Tunnel where they are, keep the statues to Sir Max Busby, Sir Alex Ferguson, Jimmy Murphy, Sir Bobby Charlton, Dennis Law and George Best on the spot where they were erected, keep the memories intact. The stadium would be modified, but it would always be a work in progress anyway. When the stadium opened in 1910, Old Trafford's capacity was around 80,000. By the 80s, that had dropped to 60,000 and then 44,000 when it became an all-seater after the Hillsborough disaster. It went up again when the current Sir Alex Ferguson stand was expanded for Euro 96. If United do not have the finance to build a new stadium, Old Trafford will be developed at a cost of roughly £1 billion, so changes come in either way. But the preference is clear to create a 100,000 capacity stadium, Wembley of the North, and it's planned that ensures best of both worlds. A new stadium that will allow United to catch up with their rivals while preserving the heritage of the club. Old Trafford will remain as a monument to more than 100 years of history. Fans can look up to the pitch where their heroes of yesteryear played. And what better stage for the youth academy than the home of the Busby Babes? In the short term, it means United can stay at Old Trafford while deciding where else to locate. There'll be debates about the finance, obviously privately and publicly, for the club and billionaires. Naming rights will be discussed, applications for government funding and council planning, but that's for another day. United have the vision that embraces the future and protects its past. If feasible, Old Trafford will rise greater again. So listen, it's really important. So listen, as I said, Old Trafford is such an historic stadium with such huge presence. Obviously, it will be very difficult to expand some of the stadiums due to the railway being behind the Sir Max Busby stand. It would make it very difficult to make more seats in the stadium. That's why Manchester United are planning to kind of relocate the stadium. United have got a lot of land owned just near the kind of Media City sort of area. Opposite there, they've got a lot of unused area which is owned by Manchester United, and they're hoping they can build a stadium just where all the car park spaces, if you've ever been to Old Trafford, not too far from the current stadium, and that's something Manchester United hope to do. And listen, it's really important that we can do this. I think this new stadium will be fantastic. As I said, the stadium extension will be planned to be built on the railway, which obviously can't happen because there's a railway behind it. I think if you look at what Sir Jim's intentions are, it is a really good intention, and to have this new Wembley of the North will be fantastic. Obviously, it's going to be a costly process, but I think this new kind of having two stadiums, having Old Trafford for maybe reduce the capacity of it, but still have Old Trafford there, keep all the statues for its history. You can have concerts there, women's game can be played there. I think that would probably be the best in the long run, and that's something that obviously Manchester United and Sir Jim obviously want. And then they can have the new massive stadium where the men's game could be played. You can have concerts in there, and listen, it would be a very great, like what's it sort of called, empire that Manchester United will have, and that's something that obviously you want to see happening. I think it'd be really great to see that. I think what Manchester United are trying to do with this will be fantastic. Obviously, they're ambitious. Manchester United want to keep Old Trafford if the state-of-the-art club decide to build a new £2 billion state-of-the-art stadium. It was thought that a plan for a 100,000 capacity stadium, Wembley of the North, would mean bulldozing United's iconic home. But United are considering a scaled-down version of Old Trafford alongside a new arena that preserves the history of the club and provide a permanent home for the women and the academy teams. As part of the ambitious project, the famous old ground that has been grown to a capacity of 75,000 will be reduced to a single-tier stadium that would hold closer to 30,000 fans. Crucially, some of the most treasured features of Old Trafford will remain in place. such as the Mooney Clock Tunnel and the tunnel that commemorate the 1958 air disaster, and obviously all the statues which I talked about earlier. It would also preserve the hallowed turf where many United greats have played down the years, and the old players turn on the halfway line that is only the surviving part of the original stadium. While some Premier League clubs have knocked down this stadium or moved home complete, United would believe building a unique monument to the club and its history. So far, they've canvassed around 30,000 fans over the plan for a brand new stadium, while the response is understood to be roughly 50-50. But that could figure out to change dramatically if the supporters know that they can have the best of both worlds. The reduction of Old Trafford would be done after the new stadium is built, allowing United to play at full capacity until it's ready. The plans have been financially viable to make the project work, and United can still lower their ambitions to a £1 billion redevelopment of Old Trafford if they are not. But it's clear that the club's preference is to build one of the biggest, best stadiums in the world on spare land behind the Stretford End while keeping the essence of the old ground. New co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants a decision by the end of the year, and it's thought to be completed until 2030, so a 6-year development plan. Ironically, the main obstacle to the redevelopment over the years has been the rail track behind the Sir Bobby Charlton Stand, and there's logistical issues building up to the same height as the three sides of Old Trafford that have grown over time. Listen, my thoughts on that new stadium, I think the new process that's been talked about with keeping the old stadium and building a new stadium, I think that works out for the best of both worlds and would massively benefit Manchester United. I think that is really, really important to do so. So my initial thoughts, or my final thoughts rather, and this new stadium works out in best of both worlds for Manchester United. Keep Old Trafford while you build a new stadium, go into the new stadium, and then we can kind of focus it from there. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment and subscribe for all the latest news on Manchester United. This is another interesting video. I don't know what will happen. It's looking like a new stadium will be built, which I'm very, very confident about. I hope Manchester United will not have to sell the naming rights to buy the stadium and to make the stadium, though I hope it's funded correctly and we do not have to go into any debt, because that would be the huge concern about any potential new stadium, that the amount of debt that Manchester United could potentially go in under. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What's your thoughts on a new Old Trafford? Would you like Old Trafford to be developed? Would you like a new stadium and knock down Old Trafford? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Peace.